Good morning, everyone. Welcome inside the cave. Jeff Bowman, along with John Roberts, on a fine Monday morning. Part 2 of us.
Part 2.
Yeah, we were here on
The
Friday.
weekend bookend.
That's right. You started your weekend with us, and now starting your week with us. I like it.
It's good for our listeners.
It is.
At least we're going to try to make it good for them.
Yes,
That's our goal.
That is the goal. That is the goal. I do want to thank quickly before we get into anything else. Chris Isom came in on Friday.
Yes.
And actually, we're right before I had something else to do here. And but she brought in a helmet from Adrian Madison, a football jersey, and our first girls basketball jersey.
Okay. Great job by Chris.
I know it.
We got to get some of these other ADs around the county to pay us a visit.
Yeah. Well, we got a few.
I'd even come pick it up from them.
Yeah.
I know once we're back to schools, I know it'll be a lot easier. But
Yeah, because we got a few.
We got a few.
And
we're getting there.
Oh yeah, and we got a few coaches that I've talked to before that they're waiting to
wait until they can get back to school and all that. Sure,
but
we understand. We'll be patient.
We will be. But it was nice because I talked to her a few different times, and so then we chatted just a little bit about one of the things we're going to chat about today too, is the MHSAA, what's going on with them. Since Chris, we had her in on phone one day regarding that because she is on the executive council. Is that what you call it?
Yes, she is a member of the executive committee.
Executive committee.
I'm not sure if it's a committee or a council, but
yeah,
it's the C word.
Okay. Yes. Don't go there. Goodness.
The executive committee. It is committee.
Is it committee?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we got a lot to go on this
We
morning.
do.
It was a busy weekend. We got our winners and losers. I put a couple of them on my phone. I still got to write them all down.
Yeah.
You're better at
I
that.
do way better at that than you. Well, I don't know that I do better at it. I think about it more than you, I think.
I was thinking about it last night, and I put some on my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
But
got Coach Matt Cohn of the Siena Heights Saints football program coming on with us at 8:25
yes,
also.
excited about that.
Yep.
Be able to talk with Matt. And listened last night, and my brother had messaged me the other day and said that he saw that Stevie Threet was on a podcast with Angelique Shingalis from the Detroit News.
Yep.
And I've listened to one of hers. Actually, she had a great one time with her and Wojo. It's a really good one to listen to because they just rip each other constantly.
Yeah, they have a great little love-hate relationship.
They do. But so
professionally, of course.
Listened to that last night. So it was if you're just Google up Angelique Shingalis if you want to listen to it. And Stevie's got some really good insight.
Yes, he does.
Just on the transfer rules, things that happened at Michigan with Rich Rod, transferring to Arizona
Concussion
State.
issues.
The concussion issue.
It was really interesting, I thought to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we both know him a little bit and know that.
Yeah, real well.
Yeah,
sure.
And know that, he's dealt with these headaches ever since he's quit playing ball. And it's been 10 years.
Yeah, but just to hear him say he doesn't have a day where he doesn't have a headache.
Right. Yeah. And to, and to also, and it's out there, but talking about the difference between documented concussions and not.
Well, and he was in that era before you had concussion protocols and all that
right.
stuff.
But he said, the one time he came off, he at least knew the defense they were. Some questions that they asked him where he was okay to go back out on the field. Where he says the game's over though, and you don't know. I remember talking to him about the one game at home where he got just rocked. Doesn't remember.
Yeah. Well, they had to carry him to the bus. The one at Purdue, the one time he basically couldn't walk. He was.
Yeah, hit at Penn State and said he's looking at the other
side
blue
line.
jerseys, waiting for the coaches to give him his play. And it was the other side. He was wearing white.
Yeah.
Those are scary things to
sure
think
they are.
about. And so you wonder, I guess you don't have to wonder
Nope.
why some of these people have the issues that they have later in life. And that's a scary thought. And talking about how far away he'd keep his kid from playing football.
He basically said his kid would not play football
ever.
based on his experience.
Right. So
yeah, and Angelique kind of probed him a little bit on that with, well, Dad, what if Dad, I love football. Yeah. He was pretty firm.
Yeah, he was. So it was interesting. And some of the transfer stuff and that. So it was good to hear.
We recommend it.
Of
course, we're a little biased, but it was good stuff from Stevie.
Yeah, or as he's known out in the other
world.
Steven.
And, well, you saw Angelique kind of tweeted, Stevie?
Yeah.
Well, he's Stevie to us.
Stevie to us, or Bubba.
Bubba, yeah, no kidding. We never called him Steven. I mean, even when we get a little angry at him in practice or a game, we didn't call him Steven.
Never. He became Steven at Michigan when he went to college. He was Steven.
Yeah. He had another nickname that's not inappropriate or anything, but it was kind of an in-house nickname, and he knows we called it. I'm not keeping anything secret from him, but the coaches, it's nothing inappropriate for our listeners. It's just we're going to keep that in the program.
But again, I mean, he was Bubba growing up forever.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's get rolling. You got the sports update sounder over there?
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
It's not my first time doing the board, buddy.
You can't find that now. Come on. It's not in. Is local drops not up there?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
See,
Yes.
All right, read the
you
update.
Found it. Hey, this week with the start of baseball season just days away, Steve Barkway talking some baseball with one of the locals, knows the game well, one of friend of the program, Aaron Klotz.
He has a cave water bottle.
Yes, and he's got a CPG.
Okay.
The cave pint glass.
Yes. He is a friend if he's got both.
He's got
it's
both.
like a starter pack.
The Mr. T starter pack.
There you go.
Again, former Adrian College baseball football great, as Barkway says, Aaron Klotz, who has coached baseball on many levels, be our analyst this week. So obviously this year baseball is not a marathon of 162 games, but that makes every game count more right out of the gate. Aaron says it should be kind of fun.
60 games in 66 days, so it's definitely going to be a grind, but it's exciting that they're going to get a chance, hopefully, to figure it out and play. And I can tell you selfishly, I always have a hard time following a whole major league season, but I think with 60 games, I'll be tuned in to every one of them, so it'll be pretty interesting.
So again, that's Aaron Klotz. He's going to be having some comments all this week with the start of baseball season. And we'll talk more on that because I was excited this weekend to actually turn the TV on. There was games.
I actually watched the Yankees play.
Yankees and Mets.
Yeah.
And last night I watched some Cubs, White Sox.
Yeah. Friday night, I haven't informed my wife of this yet, but I'm going to be somewhere watching the game Friday night, the Tiger game.
I got to watch that too. I mean, I just might be in my backyard even with a cold one. But speaking of local baseball, Hudson Post 180 American Legion. They're the Astros this year. Run the record of 16, 6-2 ties over the weekend. Coach Wayne Parrish' team won some close games to win a tournament in Stevensville. They had a 5-4 win over Muncie, Indiana. They beat Bristol, Indiana, 8-5. They beat Valparaiso 5-4. And then with another one-run win, they knocked off East Chicago, Indiana, 6-5. And they had a nail biter with the host team, Stevensville, 2-1. So good for them. I know they were out there earlier. It was the St. Joe tournament that was played in Stevensville this earlier in the year. Then they went up north, won a tournament, and then nice to go over to Stevensville and win one as well because it's a big. Other than this little area with this, a few Legion teams over there, they've got
the west side of the state. There's
St. Joe's and Three Rivers
right.
and Stevensville.
Yep.
That was always when I played. Even it was we had a really big rivalry actually with St. Joe's and
Sure.
Blissfield back in the day.
Sure.
They'd always come to our stuff. We'd go to theirs.
Yeah.
And we'd see each other around other places around the country. So it was always fun. Michigan High School Athletic Association said fall sports will begin the 2021 school year as traditionally scheduled, but with some contingency concepts for possible interruptions. The council, so it is the MHSA Representative Council, met virtually with MHSA staff recently to discuss ideas for playing sports starting in August. They'll meet again on July 29th. High school football practice is scheduled to begin August 10th, with everybody else starting on the 12th. Plan calls for fall sports to be played as scheduled, but the start of summer all fall sports practices or competitions could be delayed. So we're going to get into that a little more, a little bit. Also, 29-year-old Matthew Boyd, rumored to be traded away most of last season, been named the official starting pitcher for the Tigers on opening day on Thursday. He went 9-12 last season, prone to giving up some home runs, but that's all right. So he becomes the first Tiger lefty to start opening day since David Price. Tigers officially open at Cincinnati with a 6-10 start in the revamped Central Division this Friday after playing in 2 exhibition games Tuesday and Wednesday. I wonder if those are going to be aired at all. I
would hope so.
We saw the...
what else does Fox Sports Detroit have to show?
I know.
I would hope those will be on.
It would be nice. Meanwhile...
I'm going to call somebody up there.
Okay.
See what that gets us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jordan Zimmerman...
he's done.
Done. Placed on the 45-day injured list Saturday with a right forearm strain. Similar injury that cost him 2 months last season. The good thing about it, it's a break for probably Casey Mize, who's been very good so far. Not likely he'll make the opening roster for... Not likely he'll make the opening roster. Mike Fulmer would like to be number 4, but hasn't pitched in true game over a year. So Boyd, Spencer Turnbull, and Ivan Nova are the 3 current starters, absent Zimmerman. So
we shall see.
Lions are about to start rookie camp in Allen Park. First with the
maybe.
rookies, then the veterans coming a few days later. But the NFL players are publicly pleading with the league to address several health and safety concerns on the eve of training camp. The league informed teams on Saturday that training camps will open on time, even though discussions with the players' union regarding testing for the coronavirus and other health safety protocols are ongoing. Many prominent players expressed their thoughts in a social media blitz on Sunday. Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson, whose wife is pregnant, wrote, "We want to play football, but we also want to protect our loved ones." And Saints quarterback Drew Brees tweeted, "If the NFL doesn't do their part to keep players healthy, there is no football in 2020. He wrote, "We need football, we need sports, we need hope." That's going to be an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we'll dive into that a little bit more too, because they've had a lot of time to put things together.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been.
I'm with you on that.
Not good at doing it. PGA down in Dublin, Ohio, that is. Jon Rahm will move to the top of the world golf rankings after a convincing victory at the Memorial. He closed with a 3 over 75, which is crazy. But that rain, and did you watch him yesterday?
I watched it, yeah. Pretty much. I wouldn't say I watched all of it, but
early in the day, they were getting some good scores.
Well, they had a delay with the rain.
Right, and then it got nasty. And Rahm closed with a 3 over 75 for a 9 under. Luckily, they played well enough leading up to it that they had such a big lead.
Right.
Because that would really stink if you're one of the leaders and the course changes that bad and you get knocked out by some guy that shoots a 64 or something like that on the final round. 25-year-old Spaniard was leading by 7 shots on Sunday before a double bogey on the par 5 11th cut into his advantage. He later received a 2-stroke penalty after being initially credited with a 5-stroke win. To become the number 1 golfer, Rahm had to win the tournament and hope Rory McIlroy finished no better than 3rd. McIlroy tied for 32nd. Rahm joins Seve Ballesteros as the only Spaniards to reach number 1. Tiger Woods carded a 76 for the second time in 3 days, leaving him at +6.
Did you see the 2-stroke penalty?
I did not.
It was amazing to me that watching, because they closed right in on the ball with the camera, that no one caught it. My wife and I are watching the golf tournament at home, and she's sitting there, and she goes, "Did that ball move?" Yeah, it did. when he was taking his practice
Remember
swings.
that happened a few years ago, and
It
somebody
happens every day in my golf game.
mine too. But remember a few years ago, and actually somebody
Yeah.
called the PGA,
Called them, yeah.
and they
But it was
wrote
like
back
none
and
of the
reviewed it.
commentators said anything, and it's almost like they don't want to be the ones to kind of rat him out. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, especially since they're looking at it a little differently too, because some of them.
But that ball moved. It clearly moved. Not much, but it doesn't have to move much,
No.
and it's a 2-stroke penalty.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
My scores would be so much higher.
Well, you and half the weekend golfers in the world.
I know it. Meanwhile, Jack Nicklaus reveals he's recovered from a health scare. The golf legend revealed during Sunday's telecast that he and his wife tested positive for coronavirus at the onset of the pandemic. He said his wife had no COVID-19 symptoms, while Nicklaus had a sore throat and a cough. He said they were home in North Palm Beach, Florida from March 13th until we were done with it. On about April 20th, Nicklaus and his wife, Barbara, turned 80 a month apart at the start of the year. You know, and that's an interesting thing. I heard some stats this morning where, you know, when this thing first happened, it was more elderly were getting it than anybody else. Right now, it's 20 to 29-year-olds
Yep.
because they've been let loose.
Sure.
But I think that's one of the reasons when you look, there are more positives because that group is getting it,
Sure.
but the death toll is a whole lot less because you're having a lot healthier and younger people that might be able to fight this off and not have,
Well, and
such
that's one of the
bad
big
symptoms.
concerns with going back to school is little kids haven't been together as much since
Right.
March, and all of a sudden we're going to have another age group that didn't show a lot of signs of it once they're all back together, spreading it around because being in school, kids spread germs in schools.
Yes, they do.
That's why I think I had such a great immune system for all those years.
Well,
Hardly ever got sick because I was just around it all the time.
and I think that's the case. Either you get that immune system built up and you don't, or there's other people that are sick all the time. Mm-hmm. Because you're out there with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, in NASCAR, Richard Childress Racing successful day at Texas Motor Speedway as Austin Dillon stayed in front after restart with 2 laps to go and beat rookie Tyler Reddick to the checkered flag. That gave Childress a 1-2 NASCAR Cup finish and quite a show for spectators spread out in the stands. Dillon said it was good to celebrate with the fans again.
Come on.
Felt really
There
good.
it
I
goes.
think it would have been awkward without them, and that's why I parked it right in front of them and let them smell that smoke, the burnt rubber. Everything I did was for those fans, and I think they loved it. I also gave the flag away to a little kid. He had a Kyle Busch shirt on. I told him he's got to get a new shirt, but hopefully I transferred him over.
Dillon raced to his third career win, first since Daytona at the start of the 2018 season. He stayed in front on 3 late restarts, the first after an incident with 29 laps that shuffled the fast car of Ryan Blaney to the lap back. Joey Logano finished third, while Kyle Busch coming in fourth the day after he finished ahead of the field in 2 races. Series point leader Kevin Harvick was fifth. But one of those 2 races where he finished ahead of the field, he got disqualified on.
There was a little concern post-race yesterday that the car might have been too light. Apparently it wasn't.
Yeah, but Kyle's came in. One side was a little under, a little low. So poor Kyle Busch.
There's a lot of people that don't feel very sympathetic towards him.
That's why I played that cut so he can talk, so he can say that about trying to change the fan over from Kyle Busch. But it's fun. I watched a little bit of it yesterday. I watched actually Wednesday night, and we forgot to talk about this Friday because Wednesday night was the All-Star race at Bristol.
Yeah, it was.
And that was fun. That was a good finish as well. And the crazy thing is, it's the second time that they've ran that All-Star race away from Charlotte. In the early 80s, it was ran in Atlanta, and Bill Elliott was the winner of that one. This time they run it in Bristol.
And Chase Elliott.
Bill's kid Chase wins it. So it's 2 times it's ran away from Charlotte, and Elliott has won it. So, all right, we get to take a quick time out and come back with more right here inside the Cave on 96.5 The Cave.
Lenaway's original sports franchise, 96.5 The Cave.
I'm Stan the Man, I am, and I have to say it feels like spring outside today. But spring rains have sprung, and older roofs and spring leaks. Pesky roof leaks can creep and seep and make your walls and ceilings weak. Flat roofs are steep. The cats in the blue hats at Diversified Roofing can fix that straight away. Call 1-800-668-1928 today. We'll make those leaks all go away. With Diversified's fair rates, rebates, and financing that's great, call 1-800-668-1928. You won't get taken for a ride when you call Diversified. We're Master Elite certified and GAF roofing that's tried and true. We're state licensed and fully insured too. Your roof's installed professionally with pride when you call Diversified at 1-800-668-1928. Here's our website too for you, for Stan the Man and the cats in the blue hats, Tom. That's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com. Again, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com.
Call 800-668-1928 or visit DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com.
Is your asphalt driveway cracking? Does it need maintenance? After years of wear and tear, this is Rocky from K&B Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating. We do seal coating, hot rubber crack filling, and unlike others, we also do our own striping, patching, and paving. We are your one-stop shop for all your driveway and parking lot needs. We have 25 years of expertise and are fully insured for commercial and residential work. Visit us online or call 264-2541 for more information. At K&B Asphalt, we pledge to keep our customers satisfied by providing expert service with quality materials at a competitive price.
What are you noticing when you look around your home? Hi, this is Sherry Hall with Carpet on Wheels. By using our design center, we will assist you in making simple changes that will breathe new life into your surroundings. Sometimes just adding different accent colors or textures will do it. At Carpet on Wheels, you'll find both area rugs and blinds that can achieve your goals. So stop in to see us in downtown Tecumseh. For the quality you need and the service you deserve, only at Carpet on Wheels.
Michigan's auto insurance laws are changing, and that means drivers have a lot to think about, right, Steve Hayes?
People are going to have to be hands-on on their auto insurance. They've got a lot of choices here. Bodily injury limits or your PIP choice. Are you going to stay unlimited or do you want to ramp it down?
But one thing hasn't changed. The local independent agents at Hayes Insurance Agency. They know the new laws inside and out. And whether you're one of their customers or not, they'll help you make an intelligent, informed decision.
It's not uncommon for us to take calls for 5 hours a day of just questions. I get a lot of paperwork that might be intimidating, and we walk them through it. We don't tell people what they should do. We're going to give them the option.
From the simplest questions to the most complex, count on Steve Hayes and his staff at the Hayes Insurance Agency.
I want to be the agent that has the most knowledge about these new laws.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Hayes Insurance, 423-8316.
Even though school buildings are closed statewide for the remainder of the school year, the Lenawee Intermediate School District has been hard at work developing and implementing a continuity of learning plan for our students. This is a unique challenge, and LISD instructors and support staff have worked diligently to provide a variety of distance learning options that best suit the needs of each student. The LISD appreciates your patience and understanding as we learn together how best to serve Lenawee students during this unprecedented time. To view our learning plan and the latest COVID-19 updates, visit lisd.us/COVID19.
Concerned about what's in your food for your reptiles or fish? At Red Mill Pet Supplies, we research where our food comes from, so you don't have to. Our large, healthy adult crickets are always brought in from a good source and are stored in a clean environment. We also stock regular and giant-sized mealworms. For your small animals, fish, reptiles, and birds, all your pets need for a healthier, happier life can be found at 1111 West Chicago Boulevard, across from McDonald's in Tecumseh, and on Facebook at Red Mill Pet Supplies.
Life as a farmer has many sides. That's why we work with Nationwide, the #1 farm insurer, to help farmers and ranchers stay profitable and protected. With Nationwide, you can feel confident you're getting coverage that fits your operations needs. Find out how to help protect your farm or ranch. Call us today.
D.S. Johnson & Associates, located in Adrian, Morenci, and Monroe. Give them a call today at 517-263-2582.
For your many sides, there's Nationwide. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review and approval. Products and discounts not available to all persons in all states.
We want to take you out to the ballpark. At 96.5 The Cave, we created Ball with a Twist. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 2, Lenawee County High School teachers, administrators, and coaches will swing for the fences and play ball live from Cave Stadium. John Kane, Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, Pat Hayes, and Ian Wendt will call the action on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com. The Lenawee Diamond League is brought to you by Hyatt Insurance and Beecher Street Car Wash.
And you go.
Go
You
ahead.
say it. I was waiting. I thought you were going to let me say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Hey, welcome back inside the cave. John Roberts, Jeff Bowman here with you on a Monday morning. Jeff, you want to wrap up the update?
Yes. PBA Tour champions over the weekend.
Yes.
Down in Jupiter, Florida. Kyle Troop.
Kyle Troop. Good job, Kyle.
The pro with the fro.
The pro with the fro. The Bob Ross of bowling.
Actually, it's pretty cool. They actually have a step ladder division. You win, you got to keep winning and face the guy.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you got to win 2.
Yeah.
If you don't win 2, they go to
A third?
No. They go back.
I shouldn't have asked. Go ahead.
9th and 10th frame. So you run it, and then after that, it's ball by ball. So it's
Interesting.
So Troop won in a playoff.
Okay.
Don't roll your PBA eyes at me.
I'm a bowling snob.
You are. Dang.
I think Frank Kirkendall's listening this morning down in North Carolina.
Did you remind him?
I did. I put it on Facebook this morning and tagged him in the post. So hopefully Frank's listening down in North Carolina with his daughter and son-in-law and granddaughters.
Morning, Frankie.
Morning, Frank.
And, yeah.
We'll get Frank in to talk
Next time
bowling.
you see John, give him hell because he's a bowling snob now.
I am.
I know Frankie was switching yesterday probably between the race and the PBA.
Yeah.
So if I know Frank, that's what he was doing.
Yes, I would agree. Well, he might have been golfing.
That's true, too. Pittsburgh Penguins star Sidney Crosby dealing with an unspecified health issue. He left a team scrimmage early on Saturday, then was held out of practice a day later. Neither head coach Mike Sullivan nor assistant coach Mark Recchi offered any detail on what might be ailing Crosby.
I know what it is.
The Penguins have, me too, have about 2 weeks to get ready to face Montreal in the qualifying round of the playoffs.
It's a lower body injury.
Mm-hmm. Always. Did you see where Edmonton's, this one of the stadiums are going to play at?
Yeah.
Got flooded the other day.
The ice melt?
I don't know. Could have been. It's part of, the whole process of. Let's see if they
have to get that fixed.
See if the ice melts. What they uncover, there could be some dinosaurs in there.
You never know.
Yeah, ice age again. All right, here we go. Let's talk real stuff. The MHSAA again said fall sports will begin the 2021 school year as traditionally scheduled, with some contingency concepts for possible interruptions. We talked about that earlier.
Yes.
But now here's what the contingencies are.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan calls for fall sports to be played as scheduled, but the start of some or all fall sports practices or competitions could be delayed, which is interesting because we talked about that on Friday, like how Ohio's got certain things, and we wondered if Michigan would kind of run into that, and this seems like this could be a possibility now.
Well, I think it's smart to look at what Ohio and Indiana and Wisconsin primarily are doing with their high school sports, because so many schools along those borders play schools from those states. And so, a lot of teams in the UP, that Western UP, play those schools from Wisconsin, and, the southwestern part of Michigan goes into Indiana. And, obviously us in this area of the state play a lot of Ohio schools. So
LCS, actually, their first game of the year.
Toledo Christian.
Yeah. So they
first foray into 8-man football.
Right.
Going to be interesting.
It will.
But anyways, you kind of have to look at, because our athletes are going to be intermingling.
Right.
You have to kind of understand each other's protocols. You may not adopt them, but you at least have to understand them.
So the next step in the plan calls for lower risk fall sports that can be played to be completed, but higher risk fall sports will be postponed until later in the school year. So we were just saying. So
That's a little worrisome.
Yes.
Because you could load up a bunch of sports in the spring now.
Yeah, but
I think if they do that, that's when they're going to extend the calendar into July.
So you'll have 2 spring sports seasons.
Correct. You'll have the first sports season would be the ones from the fall. That we couldn't fit in or get in.
Right.
And then the second spring sports season will be your traditional spring sports. So if you're a parent of a spring sports athlete, don't make a lot of summer vacation plans just yet.
Yeah. So again, after the higher risk fall sports will be postponed, if the sports must be suspended, they will be rescheduled during a calendar that could see winter sports beginning in November, followed by the end of fall and spring seasons potentially extending into July 2021. So I think that, as we just said, so I think you'd get rid of your winter sports, and then they would have fall.
Mm-hmm.
So your football and your soccer, those sports, cross country,
possibly volleyball. Well, cross country is one of those. Is that still a low risk or is that a high risk?
I think it's
At
a
one
high
point,
risk.
it was a high risk because of the
you're running in a pack,
right, and the heavy breathing.
Yes, I think that's because I know that's part of Ohio's high risk ones,
right.
So then I think you'd see those at the beginning. And maybe shorten seasons.
There's no question they'd have to shorten the seasons.
And I know, who was it? Was it New York that was talking about delaying their football and not having championships?
And not having a state tournament.
Right.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
run your regular schedule to get games in and not worry about that. And that could be something
They
where,
might do like sectional or regional tournaments, and that would be
Right.
as far as you would go. You'd be sectional or regional champs that year.
So again, that may happen here where.
Wouldn't that have been nice in basketball last year if we could have done that?
Yeah, no kidding.
I think a lot of kids and a lot of people, if we could have just finished those basketball tournaments, would have been okay.
Mm-hmm.
At least the kids that won a district or a regional championship
went out
for the
with-
girls can say they won something.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. So the plans will have to align with the Michigan Safe Start plan, which is, again, that's an interesting
That's
thing there.
no given, people.
No,
It's no given that these are going to happen.
No, and again, they're going to meet, the Representative Council is going to meet again on July 29th to kind of see where everything is at. So we got another, 2 weeks to kind of see where everything is. And again, I heard this morning that, the state of Michigan last week had one of its highest ever in COVID cases, but the deaths are way down.
Sure.
And the numbers are different. So I think that's one of the things that, yes, people are getting sick. I
Mhm.
know for one, we're testing more and we have more tests available.
Sure.
So you're going to have a higher count there.
Well, you would think mathematically.
But again, you have the 4th of July, you have people out hanging out and doing things in the summer.
Sure.
When quarantine lifted, people went out. I know
I have.
Yeah.
I mean,
still not like we would, I know we're not like a normal summer.
No.
I
don't know. Well, I'm sure there's a few that have thrown caution to the wind and are just living life.
Well, you see the sandbars in some of these pictures, and you see some of the things going on.
Sure.
I just had some people that posted some pictures that they were on a vacation over the weekend and stayed in the campground, and we're going to go to the Lake Michigan, and where they were at, we're like, no, there's way too many people out there on that beach. So,
well, you know what they need to do?
Spread out. There you go. Spread out. But so that's the thing. You look at it and you go, where are we at with this? Because I think there's so many people that are waiting for a vaccination before they're ready to just move on.
Sure. Well, I understand.
And that's understandable. But at the same
especially if
time-
you're someone who's in a high risk category or something like that, or around a lot of people who would be in a high risk category. I mean,
but at the same time, we know people are getting sick and are going to get sick, and
Sure.
people are
sure.
You look at Jack Nicklaus. I didn't have much with it. I mean, I think there's so many people that probably are asymptomatic with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
anyways,
but they can still pass it on.
Yes.
So you have to see what the heck's going on with it. Again, it has to align with the Safe Start plan. So, Mark Ewell said our student athletes just want to play. We've gone far too long without them playing, but doing so safely, of course, remains the priority. Our plan moving forward is fall in the fall, starting on time. We're excited to continue moving forward to bring back sports safely. It's important for keeping students in our schools and keeping students in our sports programs. We remain grateful to the governor for the opportunity to build a schedule and policies for returning sports to schools. We will continue to support her directives and those of the state and local government or local health departments as we work to create the safest environment for all involved in our activities. And going back to the previous paragraph on that, I think it's important for keeping students in our schools and keeping students in our sports program. I think that's key right there. In the schools.
Well, if they're not back in school, I mean, if schools are closed or whatever, then you don't have sports because you're a student first. Right. And as much as we all love our high school sports, the one thing though that in all this doesn't really get mentioned that concerns me is officials.
Right.
You got a lot of older officials. How many of them are going to say, I'm not sure this is worth risking my health for.
Right.
And I'm going to take a year off. And there's already a shortage in some sports in officials. And a few years back, that we went to 7-man crews in football. You might have to scale back to 5 just because, some of those guys that are in their 50s and 60s and women that are in their 50s and 60s that officiate, they may say, I'm not sure this is worth it for the $50 or $60 I make a game each week. Right. And, we've said it for a while now, Jeff. These games are going to go away if we don't start getting some people to become officials. And, it's not an easy job.
Right.
Because people yell at you, unfortunately. And, it's who wants to do that? Well, someone's got to do it if we want to continue to have high school sports. The other thing is you got a lot of coaches that are 50, 60, almost 70 years old in a lot of sports, or that, have their own elderly family members that live with them or they take care of. And, so you could see some coaches step away for a year.
Yes.
And so that if I'm an AD, I'm talking to all my coaches, I would think, and say, hey, are you comfortable if we have sports? Are you comfortable coming back to coach this year knowing your personal and or family situation?
Yeah.
Now you got to maybe scramble to have an interim coach for a year. And, I just that's something that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about.
Yeah, that is.
Everybody just think, kids are going to get to play. Well, got to be people to coach them. And there's got to be, I had an interesting conversation with someone about, all of a sudden you might see a group of parents coaching a football team for a week. And I says, I'm not sure I'm doing that if I'm the athletic director because that's a pretty big liability.
Yes.
To put kids under and your school district under.
Yeah, it's not something that you want to have to even think of. But what does happen at that point?
Yeah. So I just obviously everybody that is a fan of high school sports hopes in their heart that we can get back and play fall sports and, just get through it.
It's going to be.
I mean, I know we are here at the station, obviously. I mean, that's a big part of what we do.
Yes.
So, just got to keep being careful, people.
Right.
I mean, I am not saying shelter in place or anything like that, but boy, you got to be careful if you want your kids or your neighbor's kid to have a fall sports season.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you looked at there's that, little video with all the, Izzo and Joanne and,
Susie Merchant and Harbaugh and
Kim
Barnes-Arico.
So just wear your mask. And that's, some people out there just, wear the little pictures, wear your mask so we can wear our helmets. And that's the thing. I mean, I understand. People, they think that they're getting their rights taken away, and it's like, come on, you go to the store, just put a mask on, and for 15, 20 minutes, take it off, and is it that big of a deal? If it possibly helps one person, and again, the key is there possibly. Does it? There's differing views, but if it does, great. It by wearing it, it's not going to hurt anything. That's the way I look at it.
It's not going to do any harm.
Right. It's not.
And I get some people medically can't do it.
Well, no, and I understand that. And that if those people are like that, yeah. But for the person that's just trying to be defiant.
Yes.
I got gas yesterday, and and somebody was walking into the store. I know we got to take a break. But there was mom, dad, 4 kids, all walked into the store at the same time. None of them with a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what makes you different than anybody else right now? Come on.
Yeah. I went to, I hope I can say Meijer on the air yesterday, and I did not see anybody without a mask on. Now, I was only there for about 15 minutes.
Right.
But I did not see anybody, workers, people in the store. Yeah. Now, people were peeling those babies off the minute they walked outside, and I was one of them.
Right, same here.
But everybody in the store had one on that I could see.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, well, don't forget, 8:25, we got Matt Cohn coming up from Siena, and we got some baseball to talk about. We got some name change to talk about.
Yep.
What else we got to talk about?
Winners and losers of the week, so you better get to work during the break. I'm not letting that go. I got good ones this week.
Okay, go.
All right.
When trades are made, when records are broken, when championships lay in the balance, we've got you covered. 96.5, The Cave.
Long Motor Sales in Tecumseh buys, sells, and trades used vehicles. Owner Eric Long won't actually sell you a car or truck, but he will help you buy the right vehicle at a fair price. You can shop current inventory online at longmotorsales.net. A friendly reminder that we can only control our own actions. Do your part in staying healthy and getting us all back to business as usual.
New to the lot this week at Long Motor Sales is a 2009 black Chevy Trailblazer. This roomy SUV comes equipped with 4-wheel drive, a power moonroof, and power seats. This is a great family ride. Stop by and tell Eric you want to take this vehicle for a test drive today.
If your vehicle needs an oil change or a major overhaul or repair, take it to Long's Automotive Service. Nathan Long has over 15 years of experience as a certified technician, giving you dealership quality service at a low price. Long Motor Sales and Long Automotive Service in Tecumseh. Long, a name you know and trust.
Hi, I'm Jim.
And I'm Lisa.
As the new owners of Noggle Heating and Cooling, we assure you that we are still your local Lennox dealer.
Don't just guess if you're getting the best. We know you'll feel comfortable in your home with a Lennox. A Lennox will make the air cooler, warmer, drier, cleaner, and better, with innovative systems that are exceptionally quiet and energy efficient.
Our crew has the expertise and resources to serve you in the best possible way.
Call 423-3121. We're ready to serve you at Noggle Heating and Cooling.
Get up to 15% off MSRP cashback on select 2020 Chevys. You'll save 15% on Trax, 15% on Equinox, and 12% on the hottest new sport utility vehicle on the planet, the 2020 Blazer. Or maybe you should be driving the all-new 2021 Trailblazer. We've got them all. This is Charlie Ribatero from Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. Chevy continues to be here for you. So let's look at all the possibilities to get you driving a new Chevy at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
Summer bundles now available at D&P Communications. New customers get a 250 meg internet connection paired with D&P Connect Pro, the most complete whole home Wi-Fi experience available, for only $59.90 per month. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees not included. Some restrictions may apply. Service not available in all areas. Superior service, exceptional results. D&P Communications.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor, and it's easier than ever to tap into the convenience of smart home technology during the Hunter Douglas Smart Shade Savings Event that's going on now through September 7th. Enjoy valuable rebates starting at $150 on qualifying purchases of Hunter Douglas motorized shades like insulating duet honeycomb shades or dramatic pirouette window shades or the revolutionary Sonnet cellular roller shades, all equipped with the advanced wireless technology of PowerView Motor motorization. Using this smart technology, the associated smart hub, and the mobile devices you use every day, you can easily program your motorized shades to move automatically to the scenes and schedules you set. Plus, PowerView integrates easily with some of the most popular home automation systems, intelligent shades, and smart savings. Connect with rebates now through September 7th. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
And welcome back inside the cave this morning. Beautiful Monday morning. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts here with you. Time to talk a little baseball. Jeff?
We're talking baseball. Remember that song?
I do remember that song. I kind of lobbed that softball up there just so you would sing on the air.
Because that's the one you got with Mick.
Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Yeah, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
I'm not a huge fan of the song because it's so New York-centric. But I get it. That was, when they were all in New York, that was kind of a big deal and for the game of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Tried pulling something else up that I wanted to talk about, but we don't have time, and I can't find it. Baseball. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So Saturday night, I'm just flipping through, looking. I'm like, oh, is this one of those replayed games? And I'm like, wait a minute. No, there's nobody in the stands. It's the Yankees and the Mets. And it's like
the Tigers in September.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, why? I was, because knowing that the Tigers don't play theirs until Tuesday and Wednesday, their games, I was like, there's games on this weekend right now. These are actual scrimmages.
Yeah.
These are exhibitions.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night I watched the Cubs and the White Sox. So.
Yeah, I watched the Yankees Mets, which I can't stand really either team, but
it was
live baseball.
Was live
yeah.
baseball.
I mean, like I said, I'll be somewhere Friday night, either my house or a local establishment. I'm watching the Tigers game.
Yes, I got it.
It's
Matthew Boyd be the starter.
Yes.
Who else is going to be up? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because, again, some of the kids, Riley Green again.
I can't wait.
I'm just so excited.
It's like a kid at Christmas.
I know. Just to unwrap this thing. And, again, it's 60 games.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen in 60 games.
Yes.
One thing that won't happen.
Well, there is this.
Games in Canada.
This is where we need the Canadian national anthem as one of our drops.
Oh, Canada.
It's a great song.
Our home
it's my second favorite
native
national
land.
I'm going to try to talk over you singing.
True. Yes, actually it is. That's a great.
That's a good one.
Other than the Star
I think
Spangled
it's just
Banner.
because when you watch hockey, it's like, oh, man. And the Canadian fans are going crazy.
But it is a good song.
It is. It's got good words to it.
Yes.
It's my second favorite national anthem.
Mine too. But the Blue Jays want to play their home games in Major League Ballpark, but it won't be at the Rogers Center. As Canada said, no. Now, hockey, they're allowing them because they're in the bubble.
They're in the bubbles. Once
And it
they're
makes
there, they're
sense.
there. They're not leaving. Yep.
They're not.
I saw
but-
some people upset that, how is this fair? Well, it's apples and oranges,
Exactly.
the comparison.
Actually, Hughes tweeted something.
He did.
And I'm like, wait a minute. No, it's not even
different.
comparable.
It's different.
So, yeah, you're going back and forth.
Right.
Teams coming in. I mean,
In
you
and
gotta-
out of the country.
You have to quarantine. I mean, I heard somebody on the radio the other day in Detroit area where they're from Windsor and came across the States, living with, works over here, moved in. He's divorced and then moved in with his fiance, and all this stuff happened. He's got 2 teenage daughters that he can't go see right now.
Right.
Because if he crosses the border, he's got to stay there in a hotel for 14 days before he can even go see them, which is nuts.
It's crazy.
So
it is. I mean, I get it, but
right now, so the team's minor league options are its training facility in Dunedin or its AAA affiliate stadium in Buffalo. Now, Dunedin, everything's in place down there. They know what's going on. They can do that. Buffalo, they said there's some logistical stuff there, but the players themselves want to play in a major league ballpark regardless of where it's at. They said we need to share a stadium with somebody. They don't want to have this unfair thing of, look, we're playing in a minor league stadium. Maybe the dimensions are different. They're not a major league park, and so
I don't think that happens.
It does some.
Very well. Okay, I bet there's not a minor league AAA ballpark that is like Fenway Park that has that short of a fence.
True, you're probably right about that.
So I mean, if we went down to Fifth Third Field and took out our tape measure in Toledo, it's 330 something, 340, 320 something down those lines.
Just like Hoosiers were, you measure.
That's right. It's a great sport, greatest sports movie ever, but that's another show.
That is for another day.
But anyways, I think these guys just want to play in a major league ballpark. But, I was reading, the lighting, but we'll play the games during the day then.
Right.
If you're worried about the lighting. No one's, no one's going to be there. It's not like you got to worry about the fans at the stadium.
Right.
No one's going to be there.
No.
I mean, the extra players are going to be sitting in those tents like you saw in the
right.
in the good seats.
Yes,
right along the baselines.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got about 6 or 7 guys sitting under this giant canopy.
That's right. They don't have the sun on them. No, but it is.
And obviously, Dunedin. Okay. That's a major league dimension ballpark. They play spring training games there.
And but that's one thing too, though. They're like, we don't want to be in Florida right now, though.
Well, that would be my bigger concern. There's a much higher rate of cases there than Buffalo, New York, I'm guessing. I heard
funny. Anthony Bass is who I was reading from, who's just newly this year with Toronto, and he's a guy actually from Wayne State.
Yes. Yeah. But half these guys probably played in Buffalo when they were in AAA on the Blue Jays. It's their affiliate. It's right across the lake.
Maybe that's why they don't want to play there.
Oh, suck it up for 30 games. Big babies.
I know.
It's baseball. It's back. Be happy you're playing.
There you go. That's it right there.
It's not like I can't imagine the ballpark's unsafe to play in.
No, Buffalo is a weird stadium, though. I remember seeing that.
You drive by it when you go on. Well, is it 90 going through there?
No, Bobby Krecky played with Buffalo for a while.
Yeah.
And he was with the Jays, and they had a weird stadium, and it was kind of an odd.
Okay,
so maybe they want to play somewhere other than that.
Well, that'll make it quaint and a story and all those things that baseball people love to talk about. They wax poetic about Fenway Park. It's probably a dump inside. It's over 100 years old.
I want to go there, though.
I've driven around it. When we went to Boston with our family, we kind of drove around it because it's like $1 million to take a tour of the thing. And it's not cheap.
No.
We looked at tickets for a game. This was the first year they opened up the seats up on the...
I want to sit up there.
It was like $200 a seat. I'm like, are you nuts?
I know a friend
family of 5, I'm going to pay $1,000 to watch a Red Sox game where 3 of the 5 people in the family don't really care.
A friend of mine sat up there and for the Notre Dame football game, he sat in those seats. Notre Dame Boston College.
Okay. Great.
I know. I just want to go sit up there.
Like whether there's a game going on or not?
I just go sit up there and have beer.
Okay.
Come on. You just think about it.
I would go with you.
Yeah.
Sure.
We could, we could do just like Field of Dreams. That's where they were at.
I know, but they weren't in those seats up at the top of the Green Monster.
But they had
were out
visions.
In the bleachers. They did.
So whether a game was playing or not.
Moonlight Graham's name on the scoreboard.
Whether there was somebody playing or not, we could have our own visions of what game was going on.
Okay.
Another fantastic movie.
That is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Ooh, you're not as high on that one, are you?
No, I like Field of Dreams.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I just said that's a good one.
Okay. I know.
Multiple times I've said
you
that's a
were
good
a
one.
little leery at first. I thought, I'll say it.
It's not my favorite baseball movie, but it's a good one.
What's your favorite baseball?
Sandlot, without hesitation.
I love
that. That is a great movie.
You're killing me, Smalls.
It is. It's how if you're a baseball fan, how can you not like that movie? It's baseball in its purest form.
It is. It is.
America needs more of that kind of baseball.
We played a lot of that on the Sandlot.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way it was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those kids that were wearing their uniforms all the time. We'd do that on game days, too.
Sure.
You get up in the morning on your game day.
Yeah. Put your jersey on. Make sure it felt right.
Mm-hmm.
Mom had, washed it since the last game for you.
Then your parents get mad at you because you got them dirty before the game even started.
Showing up to the game with a dirty uniform.
Yeah, and then that makes Mom look bad.
Yes.
Even though it was
I think
clean.
that was the biggest part of it.
It was clean before you put it on that day. You just got it dirty that night. But anyway, Tigers, Tuesday, Wednesday, scrimmaging.
Friday at the Reds.
Baseball. Baseball is back. I'm excited.
I am too.
It's just,
Hey, next hour.
NBA starts actually Wednesday.
Yeah.
In their bubble. Did you see they're only going to play 10-minute quarters?
I know. That extra 2 minutes might kill those
It might
guys.
kill those guys. They haven't played in 4 months. Oh, my gosh. Another 2-minute quarter might really hurt me.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. All right. We got winners and losers when we come back. Maybe, since I didn't have a mic on. Winners and losers when we come back. 96.5 The Cave.
We are so grateful to our local heroes, those serving our community every day. To the people working at our grocery stores, we are encouraged by your bravery as you keep our homes stocked with food. To our first responders, how we are grateful for your courage when you come to the need of our community. To our medical personnel and their support teams, working on the front lines to combat this deadly virus. Words are not enough to express our gratitude. So as a community, let us join together while keeping appropriate social distancing and tell our local heroes how much we love and appreciate their sacrifice and the sacrifices of their loved ones. May God's mighty hand protect and guide each of you during these uncertain times.
This message is brought to you by 3-Dimensional Physical Therapy, 3D PT, because people matter.
As you feel the blades of grass tickle your bare feet, a subtle breeze stirs the green leaves overhead. There you are, sipping a cold drink, admiring the beauty and solitude of your own landscaped backyard. The realization has set in. Calling Sealers Landscape and Design was the best and easiest decision you've ever made. Their 3D design program brought your paradise to life. Now for the tough decision. Where to put the hammock. Call Sealers Landscape and Design at 442-4823 for a free estimate today.
Get your vehicle in shape for the summer with a complete cleanup at Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing. They will clean your vehicle inside and out. They offer detailing services like interior shampoo, hand wax, and buffing. Their expert staff will make your car, SUV, or van sparkle. They even do boats, RVs, and semis. Gift certificates available. Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 7 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Ask about their monthly membership and their annual memberships. They're located on West Beecher Street next to Barrett's.
The Springs BP on West US 223 near Onstead Highway is your locally owned one-stop convenience store. The Springs BP Beer Cave is fully stocked and has a huge selection of craft beer along with all of the standards. If you're looking for something a little different, they have a variety of prepared cocktails and drink mixes plus state minimum prices on their huge selection of liquor. The Springs BP also has propane tank exchanges, fishing licenses, and bait. So if you're headed to the lake for the weekend or just heading home, make sure you stop and shop at the Springs BP.
We want to take you out to the ballpark. At 96.5 The Cave, we created Ball with a Twist. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 2. Lenawee County High School teachers, administrators, and coaches will swing for the fences and play ball live from Cave Stadium. John Kane, Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, Pat Hayes, and Ian Wendt will call the action on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com. The Lenawee Diamond League is brought to you by Hyatt Insurance and Beecher Street Car Wash.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan, this is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
Got your hiking boots, Jeff?
Yes. They're laced up, ready to go.
Okay.
You got your flashlight?
And my compass.
Ready to do some spelunking?
Spelunking.
Yes, sir.
Winners and losers of the weekend. It's that time again.
It is that time again. Is it? Can you hit it this week?
I can. I even roll right where it's at. Ready? You're going to start off with the losers.
I am going to start off with the losers.
Inside the Cave, 3 losers from the weekend.
Number 1 for me.
Biggest or
no?
This is
just
your
the
tiny.
The
Your,
first one.
Okay.
I mean, I really haven't listed them too much in one.
In any kind of order.
No. Jordan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always hate to make guys that get hurt losers, but just.
But he just it's been since he's been here as a Tiger. It's a cumulative process. It's not just, I think that the getting hurt again is the final straw.
Yeah, I don't think he may never play another game as a Tiger. So, which is tough for him because he's in the final year of his contract, and I think he was hoping to use this year to showcase what he could do for other teams.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, my first one is the NFL and the NFL Players Association. How could you not have safety protocols figured out before now? Mm-hmm. It would have seemed like that would have been one of the initial things you would have taken care of in this current environment. So,
yep, that was
not good.
No, that was one of mine as well. Bryson DeChambeau. What a meltdown he had the other day.
Took a 10.
Yes. And then was arguing like crazy.
Looked like you or I playing that hole.
Because the ball was still touching the fence. He was arguing that it's not out of bounds. Well, it was on the other side of the fence in somebody's yard, but still touching the fence. But
it had broken the plane.
Yes. So, and arguing about that. And then his caddy, when they're walking down the fairway, don't talk. And, he kind of showed his true colors a few weeks ago at the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, where, talking about the imaging and the branding that
the cameraman.
Yeah, they're going to make them look bad.
Yeah.
Well, he made himself look awfully bad the other day.
If you want to be the hero.
But it was like tin cup, too, on that. I mean, he hit it into the water. Then he hits another one. And I'm going to go for the green again. I don't care. I'm still going for it. And, it's like he was reaching out to Cheech. Give me another ball. Ball. That's another good sports movie.
That's a good sports movie. There's so many good. We could do a whole show on that.
We need to do that. Let's come up with that.
Okay, maybe next Monday.
That could be. We could do some Twitter polling on that one.
I'll work on that.
We need to discuss that.
Yeah,
because we could have some different sports categories.
Yeah,
and have brackets for baseball, football, basketball, or however. We could have some fun with that.
Got to run that by our programming director.
Yes, we do.
But we could do it.
Yes, we could.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. College basketball coaches. I knew I'd get you on this one. They want to get rid of the SAT and the ACT.
Oh, I did see that.
And it's like, well, how are we going to know that these guys should be admitted into college?
I mean,
you need a common standard.
Right, I can see their point. They're
GPA
saying,
and all that varies so much from high school to high school. It's not even funny.
But I can see their point of them is saying that it's tough for some.
But the research, and I did a little dive on this. There's a lot of research. I won't say all the research, but there's a lot of research that has shown, and I'm going to put it out there, they're concerned about kids from economically disadvantaged areas. Even those kids have shown growth in their scores on the SAT and the ACT in the last 15, 20 years. There's been substantial growth.
Well, there's somebody locally that we could probably interview with about how to get your test scores up.
Oh, I'm sure we could. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. T-Man.
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be an interesting thought. I mean,
it would.
Maybe talk to him about that.
Yeah. No, but I just think it's a bad optic for these basketball.
No, I agree.
They want to make admission easier to college for their players.
Right.
I
think in this climate, it gives them the opportunity because of trying to say that there's the injustice out there.
Yeah.
That they can now speak up about it.
Right.
And nobody's going to give them any backlash.
Okay. I just did.
No, I know, but
I'm not the only one in the sports media that's doing it.
No, but maybe on a huge national scope, though, it may not be the optics are. It's easier time to do it is right now if you're going to do it.
I suppose so. I'm going to have to look at like Seth Greenberg and Dickie V and what those guys are saying about it. I'm going to have to go through their Twitter feed. It's always interesting to hear their thoughts on college basketball. Go ahead.
Well, I was in the NFL. I mean, that was where we were before. I mean, they've had all this opportunity.
Okay.
For them to make this thing, and they haven't done enough to make it where there's not so many questions already.
I'm getting messages from listeners about great sports movies, so apparently there's some enthusiasm for the topic. Thank you, Matt.
That's funny.
I'm going to stay in the NFL with my biggest loser, the Washington NFL team. What a mess that is.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, it's just it's piling on almost. But they're such an easy target right now.
Oh.
It's a joke.
Yes.
I mean, the nickname change.
Yes.
They're going through all that after all these years. Then you got all these personnel issues, people leaving the team, the play-by-play guy, all the front office people that are bailing on them. You got minority owners that are trying to sell their interest in the team. Then you got all the supposed sexual harassment issues. And, I mean, how does Daniel Snyder stay in ownership? I mean, how does the rest of the owners in the NFL not go to this guy and say, dude, your franchise hasn't been good for 20 years.
Yes.
You got all these problems. It might be time for you to step aside.
Yeah, I think so.
And the NFL has the power to do that. They can vote an owner out. It happened in Carolina just a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
So, guy's got to clean up his ship here in a hurry, or they ought to get rid of him as the owner.
Okay, that's a great one. Kyle Busch was my final one.
Okay.
Just,
You
and I
just
know
don't
it
like
wasn't
him.
totally him with his car and all
Yeah.
that. No. But, I mean, he's
kind of a whiner.
He is.
He's a good driver.
Yeah, he is.
He is. I mean, very talented,
Yeah.
but, very successful. But sometimes he just gets a little whiny, and I think that turns some people off on him.
Yes.
I agree with you. Okay.
All right.
Winners?
Winners.
I'll go first. Clint Frazier of the Yankees.
Yes.
And there are some other players. They're wearing masks while they play. Just showing it can be done. I know there's a lot of people that have thrown that
Well, I saw.
How do they play with them? Playing in the hottest part of the year with a mask on. Didi
Gregorius.
Thank you.
And he actually has kidney issues.
Yes.
He has to wear one.
Well, and that's Clint Frazier, they asked him about it, and he kind of said, hey, we got a lot of older people that work, the coaches, the manager, the clubhouse guys, they're all older guys, so I'm doing it to, kind of help protect them.
Right.
And so I think it was a great message that, hey, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you may see some high school kids and college kids in sports this fall wearing masks just because they think it. Number one, they think it's the right thing to do. Number two, they're they have some health concerns or they're around people that have health concerns. So, I think it's a good message that the game can still be played if that's what it takes by wearing a mask, especially in baseball. You're really not near people a lot. Probably the most is when you're on base or at the plate or in the dugout, and, so those are really, when you're out in the field, you're a little more spread out.
Right.
So that's my first one.
All right. Actually, I grabbed a third. Isaiah Livers, I just thought about that.
Oh,
Coming back
yeah,
to Michigan,
yeah.
Deciding,
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm ready. I want to come back for one more year, and
Yep.
I think that's definitely...
Or I'm not ready.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good move, and it's very good for Michigan basketball.
Yeah, because he was kind of a borderline NBA guy right now, I
Yep.
think. He'd be perfect for the G League if that was a thing where they paid him.
Yeah.
Right, but, they do pay him, but you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
Okay, the Canadian government. I got to, that there's a country that their cases are low. I think I read Buster Olney put a stat out there. It's like 38 million people in Canada. They have like less than 300 cases a day.
Right.
Because they're
they're not.
And they just said, we're going to protect the people of our country.
Yes.
You guys can go play somewhere else for 30 days of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't have a problem with that.
No, it's actually a pretty good one there.
So,
NASCAR, getting fans in there, kind of doing it,
It's a good
spacing
one.
it out. I mean, they had them in Virginia at Bristol, and they had them over the weekend. And
is it 30,000 they let into Texas?
I didn't hear exactly. I know they were going to let 30 into Bristol. I think there was only 20-some thousand there. They were going to allow 30,000.
Okay.
They didn't say that all 30,000 were in.
Okay.
I didn't hear a figure from Texas, but
Maybe I'm thinking of Bristol with the number.
But that's, if you can do it and do it the right way, good for them.
I mean it's progress, and that's what everybody. Well, it keeps. Well, that's science. Science changes with more research, and you find out that things you once believed maybe aren't true all the time, or that's science. That's experimentation. That's the.
Yeah.
I'm not a big science guy, but I know that's science.
Yeah.
Things change.
That's right.
New discoveries.
Mm-hmm.
MHSAA, good job with the plan, with contingencies, gives people a little hope. Now we got to do our part and make sure that we can have high school sports in Michigan, this fall and certainly this year.
And my last one, MLB and the fans of the MLB.
It's back.
It's back, baby.
Yeah.
So we can start watching baseball, and I'm happy about
I'm with
that.
you on that.
Happy about that. I just wish that they'd be, maybe more games on different times and not having overlapping as much. But
that's those local TV contracts that baseball has that everybody doesn't. Everybody else doesn't have. They got to live up to those.
I know. All right. Well, good winners and losers. We got about 6 minutes, 7 minutes
before the next break.
Yeah. Name changing.
Yeah, we can talk. We've talked a little bit about it. We can talk a little bit more about it. I mean, big article in this Sunday's Detroit Free Press.
Yep. Well, and I think that was a good article too, because it really it dove into a little more of some of these schools and some of the names and why they have those names.
I mean, a few of the schools that went into
there.
the history, and
Right.
I mean, Tecumseh was mentioned in the article, as was Clinton.
Yeah.
Both our local schools with names that are under scrutiny right now, I guess is maybe a way to say it.
I think Redskins are gone.
Yeah,
I mean, I really
think that's
just
going to
have
be
that.
That's going to be a hard one to hold on to. I think.
Yep.
Just because I just do.
That's probably
and for you to say that as a graduate of a school where that was your mascot, I mean that's
well, I see it happening more and more, and
Sure.
and when Washington changes it, I mean, and again, that was our
the
kind
most
of-
visible
yes
example of
and
that
if,
particular
If
nickname.
they're having to change it, I think other Redskins
colleges already have
Right.
Miami of Ohio.
Yeah. So I think that's one that really is probably the top one where people are going to go, okay, if we're going to get rid of something, this is going to be the one to get rid of. And again, like Tecumseh, I mean, That's the toughest one out there.
That's a tough one.
Even the word Indians, okay, people say that's a little offensive as opposed to, Native Americans. So it's went from Indians to Native Americans.
Right.
So, what do you do on that? And again, if they're named after
a particular person, the city itself, and I have the article pulled up from Sunday's Free Press, and I'm looking. There's 8 schools in the state of Michigan that have Indians as their mascot or nickname: Athens, Chesaning, Hartford, Newberry, Saugatuck, Tecumseh, Tekonsha, and White Cloud. And as I read those names, I think some of the cities are Native American words.
Right.
I mean, I got to believe Tekonsha, Saugatuck, probably Chesaning.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, maybe there was a Joe Chesaning that founded the town.
Right.
But
no,
those are Native American words.
Dowagiac, too.
Dowagiac, the chieftains, the Sheboygan.
Yes.
There's a lot of places where the city has taken on a Native American word as the name of their city for whatever reason, whether it be a geographic feature, whether it be that it's a word that described the...
Was it not Escanaba they're the red men and the red Eds?
Oh, Marquette.
Marquette,
yeah. Escanaba's the Eskimos.
That's right.
And that one's on the list.
Yeah.
You see the Edmonton Eskimos are changing their name.
Well, they're talking.
They're talking about it. Yes,
that's another one that's out there.
The Canadian Football League.
But they're working hard with the Inuit tribes up there
Yeah.
to discuss that.
Yep.
But the red men, and that was derived from somebody that came from Harvard.
Right, the Crimson. Their jerseys are actually crimson.
So when
it's
he went
not...
to Marquette, he called them the red.
Right.
Right. So
right.
But
it's come to be
morphed
into yes, and I'm not so sure they didn't have maybe they had a Native American mascot at one time.
And that's where a lot of schools have gone away. There's other ones besides. Clinton basically has gotten rid of the Indian chief. They've gone with now the C with the spear through it.
Right.
So they've taken a lot of the imagery away. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see what does happen with it. And again, I think that there's 2 really big things right now. Is one, it's not very cost effective for most of these school districts to try to do that.
No. I mean, to change colors or a nickname or something.
And then on top of that, you're already hurting right now with COVID.
Right.
I mean, your district money is already down. And then to have to say, all right, we're already hurting on money. We might not.
We got to buy all new football helmets.
Yeah. So what are we going to do there? I mean,
decals.
Yeah.
You don't have to get helmets.
But your jerseys.
But your jerseys
and all that.
Things that are up in your gym and your other facilities.
Right.
Sure.
See, and I can see like the Washington Redskins right now. I mean, the formerly Redskins. They haven't made an announcement yet either. I could see them
plain burgundy helmet this year
with nothing else on it. And it's just
gold stripe down the middle.
It's the Washington Football Club right now until they come up with figured everything out.
Yeah.
Especially with the one guy that's got
he's patented everything.
Patented everything.
Yeah.
But I think that you may end up with some high schools that may just do that. I don't know.
You could.
Could.
Just, I hate paint over everything. That's probably not exactly what they do anymore. But, the one that we talked a little bit about off the air that I think bears some discussion too is, and we've talked about it with Central Michigan, when your mascot or your nickname is a particular tribe.
Right.
There's some schools in Michigan like Manistee is the Chippewas.
Right.
Rogers City is the Hurons. Right. Now, are they the Hurons because of the Huron tribe, or are they the Hurons because it sits right on Lake Huron? Probably a little bit of both.
Well, I think they did use imagery.
I think they do too.
I think they got rid of a lot of it. I think I read recently.
I mean, and then there's one. What was the other one? Oh, Morley Stanwood High School up in the northwestern part of the state. They're the Mohawks.
Right.
So is that an opportunity to educate, I would hope, kids in that community about the Mohawk tribe and what they meant to that area, what their traditions were, their culture.
Right.
You know, that might be a way to save that nickname if it's that important to you, much like CMU has done with the Chippewa tribe in that
North
area.
Dakota with the Sioux.
Mm-hmm. So there are some things, if that nickname is that important to you, I think it's important to invite people to the table that maybe have some concerns about it and say, how can we make this work so that it honors your people in the right way?
And I think that's the key. It's trying to do that and do it respectfully. And do it in a way, too, that's not going to have everybody else in the state go, well, how can they do it?
Right. Exactly.
Why can't we?
Which I think CMU gets some of that now from various places.
Yeah, I agree.
They've come up with a plan.
Yep.
So, hey, we got to take a break. When we get back, we're going to have Matt Cohn from Siena Heights University with us to talk a little Saints football.
Yes.
And so we'll be right back after we pay some bills.
96.5 The Cave, Lenawee County Sports.
Summer has finally arrived, and now that it's here, you better believe hot, muggy days are on the horizon. That means you need your air conditioner working at peak performance. If it's not, chances are you haven't had it checked recently. Or perhaps your air conditioner has checked out and is simply not keeping you cool on those hot, muggy days. Citizens Gas Fuel Company in Adrian can help with an air conditioning inspection. Trained professionals from Citizens Gas will come out and perform a complete inspection of your air conditioning unit to make sure it is ready for this upcoming hot and muggy summer. So do not spend another day wishing that you were cool and comfortable. Call Citizens Gas Fuel Company at 517-265-2144 today and schedule your air conditioning inspection. Again, that phone number is 517-265-2144 and schedule your air conditioning inspection. Citizens Gas Fuel Company, your local gas company, and more.
A specialty pet store doesn't mean higher prices. At Red Mill Pet Supplies, it means a healthier selection. Our experienced staff will help make sure you get the best nutritional value for your pet, and our frequent buyer program will help you save when you shop with us. For your dogs, cats, small animals, fish, reptiles, and birds, all your pets need for a healthier, happier life can be found at Red Mill Pet Supplies, across from McDonald's in Tecumseh, and at redmillpetsupplies.com.
Wouldn't it be sweet to have an endless supply of Culver's fresh frozen custard always at the ready? Just do what we do. Start each day by pouring fresh dairy into your precise temperature-controlled custard machine. Trust me, once you have one, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Adjust flow to produce creamy ribbons of frozen custard. And lastly, and this is the best part, do the spoon test to ensure smooth texture. Yum!
Better yet, come to Culver's and leave the whole frozen custard made throughout the day thing to us. Welcome to Delicious.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor. Your home may be your castle, but it's also your canvas, and it's where you can express your personal style. So think waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof with our stylish Cortec luxury vinyl floors to get the look that perfectly expresses what makes you, well, you. And it's now on sale for a limited time. So come in and choose from our large selection of wood and tile looks. And now, through July 31st, you can take advantage of our 12 months no-interest financing. And all Cortec products are Green Guard certified for indoor air quality. This means our floors are chemical-free and promote safe indoor air quality. And they're on sale now through July 31st. Qualifications and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
Hello, I'm Mike Basham, the new service manager at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. This month we are offering special pricing on oil changes, 10% off any brake service, and savings on our BG air conditioning system deodorizer and performance enhancer. Remember, the Suburban Care program gets you 3 oil changes, 3 tire rotations, and 3 multi-point inspections for one low price. Busy schedule? We offer full service on Saturdays from 8 until 2, and also a fleet of loaner vehicles with a reservation. Get your vehicle ready for summer at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
We've been doing business in downtown Tecumseh since 1982. Hi, this is Ed Hall with Carpet on Wheels. That's 38 years as a family-owned local business. Of course, we couldn't have done it without the support of our clients, but there's something to be said about being around for so long. We carry newer selections of floor covering, window treatments, and area rugs. We professionally install everything we sell. Stop in, see for yourself. Get the quality you need and the service you deserve at Carpet on Wheels.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, business, farm, and life insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the D.S. Johnson & Associates comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the D.S. Johnson & Associates in Adrian, Morenci, or Monroe, or give them a call today at 517-263-2582. Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
And welcome back inside the cave Monday morning. John Roberts, Jeff Bowman with you here. And got a special guest in with us this morning. I want to welcome Siena Heights Saints head football coach Matt Cohn to the show. Matt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me in, guys.
Thanks for being with us today.
And actually, John, I'm just looking up the number 16 ranked Siena Heights Saints football team.
There you go. Well, we wanted to have you in, Coach Cohn, and talk a little bit about the upcoming season for sure. So obviously we'll dive right into that, and it sounds like some expectations for the Saints this year.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how our winter conditioning went, before we had to break in late March, with the COVID-19. Really pleased with how hard our kids worked, and that's always a thing, kind of the unknown when you bring the new team back from Christmas break, which leaders are going to step up. There's been some guys that have went on that aren't going to be in the weight room, aren't going to be in the team meeting rooms. And, you're looking for guys to assume those leadership roles, and was really, really pleased the way that went in January, February, leading right up into our one spring practice that we were able to have.
One spring practice, huh?
Yeah, we were able to get one in. Went out on that Tuesday evening. Had a great practice. We're just out there in helmets, and we were all set to go back out the following Thursday evening. And that's when, it got called, with the COVID. And shortly thereafter, all of our students were then sent back home from campus. So was really pleased about that, with how our conditioning went. We do have a pretty veteran group coming back, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. So it just, really looking forward to getting everybody back. Was a little bummed we didn't get those spring practices because kind of, again, that's the time where it's the new team, and you really get to see who's going to fill those voids on the field, more so than when they come back for fall camp. You kind of have your depth chart in place a little bit. But we've been able to do things this summer with staying in contact with our guys, a lot of Zoom meetings. I can tell you what, I'm a master at the Zoom now, let me tell you.
Well, I know you don't get that technology mastership genetically.
That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely not. Holy smokes, man. Although we did have a couple family Zoom meetings, celebrate some birthdays over quarantine, which were pretty fun.
Cool.
Particularly if you know my family, they get a little fun. So
now, is that something, though, Matt, did you guys do a lot of, some interactive workouts and things like that? Were you able to, to try to get to your players through those kind of different situations online?
We did. All March and April, we had 15 practices scheduled, practicing 3 times a week, and then, a spring football game was scheduled for the 18th of April. So our staff, all of our position coaches, our coordinators, we just followed our template that we laid out in terms of install, offense, and defense. Held all the Zoom meetings, did the install, showed the tape. Had some teachable moments where we asked our players to teach the stuff back to us. via Zoom. So we wanted to make sure that we continued on business as usual in terms of the football aspect of things. We also had some academic support meetings. It's something we do in our program every Friday. Our young men come down to our facility and meet with our coaches about academics, and we continued that as well throughout the spring. So we tried to be as consistent as possible with our guys right up until they left school. School was out that first week in May.
Well, it sounds like in the troubled times as far as having meetings go that we live in, you guys were able to keep a pretty good handle on that. And you mentioned not having spring practice, Matt. Obviously, that's going to put a premium on your fall camp when you come back to campus. When do you come back to campus? Hopefully.
Yeah, we are scheduled to come back. Our freshmen are going to report the 14th of August, and then our upperclassmen are going to come in the 17th of August. So, over the course of the past month, 2 months, I think we'd all agree the virus situation has changed almost daily, weekly, as to, what we can do, what we can't do, what's the future looking like. And the NAIA came down from a national level about a month ago and made some national guidelines for player health and safety and to help institutions kind of navigate what was going on with the virus. And a couple of those stipulations were they canceled the first 2 weeks of the season for everyone that plays NAIA football. So there were a number of teams that were scheduled to play on August 29th or September 5th. We actually had a contest scheduled in Chicago, Illinois on September 5th that we had to drop. So those 2 games were dropped. The NAIA said, we want everybody that plays NAIA football starting their first game week 1 on the exact same date, which they declared September 12th. So everyone's going to start week 1 play on September 12th. They then came out and said, all student athletes who are going to be playing football will report to their respective institutions and start practice on August 15th. So everyone is in level playing field. I think they did that too because they realized there's a lot of student athletes who haven't had access to a training facility. Gyms, here in Michigan still aren't open.
Sure,
right.
So there was some concern, I think, for these student athletes. What kind of physical shape are they going to be in when they do get back to their schools? What's that going to look like? Are they going to need some extra time to condition themselves to get their bodies ready? So you do have a very large time, a large window here, almost a month, from when the student athletes do report to campus to when they have to play their first game. And I think that was by design. We certainly are going to do some things within our program and seeing how our student athletes report back, how much time do we need to spend, getting their bodies physically ready. From what we've seen from our Zoom workouts and things like that, our guys have been staying in pretty good shape, but you're only going to know that when they get back. So those are a couple things that the NAIA have done at the national level, and then they really gave a lot of autonomy to the institutions to kind of navigate how are we going to launch this season. They made the minimum amount of games. They bumped that down. They said the minimum number of games that an NAIA school has to play to qualify for postseason play is 6, and the maximum amount is 9. And those numbers used to be 8 and 11, so they dropped those down a little bit. Within our conference, the Mid-States Conference, which I can proudly say is the best NAIA conference in the country, our conference sent 4 schools to the NAIA national playoffs last year. We've had somebody from our conference represent our conference in the national championship 8 of the last 9 years. So our conference is a juggernaut. And we came out on the conference level and reconfigured our schedule a little bit to really try to help with daytime travel. That's something that's going to be challenging, I think, for everybody in the fall, having no overnight trips. So, there's some instances where schools will have to travel 4, maybe 5 hours, same-day travel, and then play a game the same day, and then head back the same day. Certainly not ideal, but these really aren't ideal times that we're living in right now. So we're going to do everything we can to, coordinate that schedule best for our players' health and safety. So there's just been a lot of things go on, national level, conference level, and then, that's kind of trickled down to the institutions. And I can tell you Siena Heights has really been on it. Our leadership, from our athletic director to our dean for students to our president, has put a lot of safety protocols in place for not just the student athletes, but for the faculty, the staff, everyone within the Siena Heights community, making sure everyone's as safe as possible moving forward.
And you are listening Inside the Cave this morning. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, along with head coach of the Siena Heights Saints football program, Matt Cohn. And Matt, you had mentioned the trips and travel, and looking at your schedule, things look pretty good. I mean, Iowa St. Ambrose is coming to you. You're at Indiana Wesleyan, at Marion, at Taylor. So even your away games this year are not some of the big travel games that you have in the past.
No, we're very fortunate, and those two games early, kind of crossover games, we do have to go into the Chicagoland area twice. First game in Robert Morris University there in Arlington Heights. I guess they're Roosevelt University now. We recently bought out, and then Trinity International. But the positive thing about that, Jeff, is we gain an hour going there. So going there is not going to be so much of an issue. We have that extra hour, and we're going to try and get there early, let our guys shake it out a little bit, kind of get ready to go for the game. Coming back will be a little bit of a drag because we'll be pulling in late. And, for our staff, Sunday is a big prep day. Spend a lot of time working on our next opponent on Sunday. But, that's just what we're going to have to do this season, and we're going to have to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting thing we were going to talk a little bit about coming up. I want to have you kind of dive into the conference a little bit, because how it's taken some changes. But as you said, right now, as you said in the last little segment there about how good this conference is year in, year out, and I know coming into this conference to think, holy cow, we're a brand new team and we got to play these guys. That's such an interesting way to start a new football program. And I know you guys have taken the bull by the horns and have done really well with it. But, man, it's week in, week out. You've got your hands full.
We really do. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to prepare to play in big games week in and week out. There's not too many fluff games on our schedule. Anyone can beat anyone at any given time. And I'm kind of shocked, to be truthful, coaching at this level for the past 9 years, just how many drop-down Division I guys find their way back to the NAIA level, that we're preparing for week in and week out. And you look at some of these rosters around the league, and a lot of guys that come from MAC schools, that come from Big Ten schools, that transfer back home, and there's some really, really good players. And there's been a lot of big time coaches now coaching at the Power 5 level and throughout the country that did get their start in NAIA, and talk about the diversity in the NAIA, how the student athletes do come from a lot of different areas, and there are a lot of different drop down athletes, and particularly in our conference. We see that quite a bit, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun knowing that you're going to see that week in and week out, and you got to be at your best at all times from a player and a coach standpoint.
Yeah, that challenge, there's the saying that iron sharpens iron, and certainly anybody that plays in your conference gets sharp by the end of the year.
Ain't that the truth, for sure.
Well, let's take a quick time out. We got to come back, and I'd like to dive a little bit more into this league because there's be some changes, coming up this year and coming up next as well with some of the other local teams. So take a quick time out and come back and talk a bit more with Matt Cohn from Siena Heights University right here inside the Cave on 96.5 The Cave.
Summer has finally arrived, and now that it's here, you better believe hot, muggy days are on the horizon. That means you need your air conditioner working at peak performance. If it's not, chances are you haven't had it checked recently.
Okay, yeah.
Or perhaps your air conditioner has checked out and is simply not keeping you cool on those hot, muggy days. Citizens Gas Fuel Company in Adrian can help with an air conditioning inspection.
Trained
I'm gonna give you a
professionals
little
from
heads
Citizens
up.
Gas will come out and perform a complete inspection
At the
of
end,
your
I'm
air
gonna ask
conditioning
you
unit
your
to make
favorite
sure it is
Maple
ready
game
for
you
this
ever played
upcoming
in, so
hot and muggy
give you
summer.
something to think about during
So do not spend another day
All right.
wishing that you were cool and comfortable. Call Citizens Gas Fuel Company at 517-265-2144 today and schedule your air conditioning inspection. Again, that phone number is 517-265-2144 and schedule your air conditioning inspection. Citizens Gas Fuel Company, your local gas company, and more.
Even though school buildings are closed statewide for the remainder of the school year, the Lenawee Intermediate School District has been hard at work developing and implementing a continuity of learning plan for our students. This is a unique challenge, and LISD instructors and support staff have worked diligently to provide a variety of distance learning options that best suit the needs of each student. The LISD appreciates your patience and understanding as we learn together how best to serve Lenawee students during this unprecedented time. To view our learning plan and the lecast COVID-19 updates, visit lisd.us/COVID19.
Are your floors screaming for a makeover? If so, O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering in Tecumseh, with their combined 160 years of experience, wants to help. O'Connor & Sons sell and install many styles of floor covering. They have the area's largest selection of luxury vinyl tile and planks, which are completely waterproof. O'Connor & Sons also carries Cali Bamboo, which are the world's hardest floors. Pet problems? No worries. They have pet-proof carpet that is guaranteed against all pet stains. O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering on Russell Road in Tecumseh. Call them at 423-6170, or for more information, check them out on Facebook at O'Connor & Sons Flooring.
Is your asphalt driveway cracking? Does it need maintenance? After years of wear and tear, this is Rocky from K&B Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating. We do seal coating, hot rubber crack filling, and unlike others, we also do our own striping, patching, and paving. We are your one-stop shop for all your driveway and parking lot needs. We have 25 years of expertise and are fully insured for commercial and residential work. Visit us online or call 264-2541 for more information. At K&B Asphalt, we pledge to keep our customers satisfied by providing expert service with quality materials at a competitive price.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor. Your home may be your castle, but it's also your canvas, and it's where you can express your personal style. So think waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof with our stylish Cortec luxury vinyl floors to get the look that perfectly expresses what makes you, well, you. And it's now on sale for a limited time. So come in and choose from our large selection of wood and tile looks. And now, through July 31st, you can take advantage of our 12 months no-interest financing. And all Cortec products are Green Guard certified for indoor air quality. This means our floors are chemical-free and promote safe indoor air quality. And they're on sale now through July 31st. Qualifications and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
We want to take you out to the ballpark. At 96.5 The Cave, we created Ball with a Twist. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 2. Lenawee County High School teachers, administrators, and coaches will swing for the fences and play ball live from Cave Stadium. John Kane, Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, Pat Hayes, and Ian Wendt will call the action on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com. The Lenawee Diamond League is brought to you by Hyatt Insurance and Beecher Street Car Wash.
And welcome back inside the cave. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts with you here this morning, along with our special guest, former Adrian Maple and current Siena Heights Saints head football coach Matt Cohn. Matt, thank you for being with us this morning again.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. Thanks, guys.
Well, Matt, one thing I wanted to ask you about is just how the dynamics of this conference is shifting, especially when you're getting – we had Concordia in there with you for the most part, but now you're bringing in, Lawrence Tech with a school, with a team locally. You're bringing Madonna in next year, and how this kind of is shifting with, more of the local schools and maybe making travel a little easier. But how is that as far as, maybe not playing some of these other teams that you've played in the past that are some of the upper echelon, and maybe having more of these local squads that you're having to play against?
Oh, great question. I think that certainly that's going to help the travel. It's going to help budgets. moving forward, getting some more Michigan teams. The way that the Mid-States is set up right now, there's 16 teams in the league. There's 8 on the west side, and there's 8 on the east side. So you have 7 games right there you can schedule within your own league. And then typically you'll have 3 crossover games. For us being a Michigan school, a crossover game is going to send us into Illinois or is going to send us into Iowa. So you're going to have a little bit more extensive travel, 2-3 times, 3 games of the season. But the travel will certainly help. I know that teams that have joined the Mid-States and have started a program from scratch in the NAIA, just due to how you're able to offer athletic scholarship in the NAIA, I think have been able to build their programs relatively quick. You look at the most recent school to join our conference, Indiana Wesleyan. They've got great facilities down in Gas City, Indiana. Were able to finish their season ranked in the top 25 last year, and that was just their 3rd year having a football program. And I can tell you they've got some really good players. Their quarterback last year was a transfer from Ball State. They had a stud running back out of Orlando, Florida area. So teams in the NAIA are able to get those really good players, difference-making players, relatively early, just due to the financial aid packages and scholarships, they can offer, and you see that year in and year out. And then some of the more established programs, like your Marians, your St. Francis's, down in Indianapolis and Fort Wayne, respectively. They've got great tradition, and they're able to get those type of players year in and year out. So just makes it very, very competitive, whether you're a first-year program, second-year program, or you're a more established program that's been around for a while.
And speaking of recruiting, Matt, obviously with programs in the conference in the, let's just say, the southern part of Michigan on the rise, has that made recruiting this area, different, more challenging? Obviously you're recruiting some of the same kids that the Lawrence Techs and the Concordias and those schools are as well.
Oh, for sure. There's no question about it, recruiting has been challenging this past spring. Typically in May, our staff is out in high schools, seeing student athletes, talking with coaches. We had to do that all remotely in May and June, and we're still doing it right now. For the past 6 weeks, we've had recruiting meetings. We haven't been able to go in the office, but we've had them out here on my deck, and we evaluate tape, and we're contacting student athletes. Recruiting has really changed, even just in the past 8 or 9 years since I've been at Siena Heights, and so much of it now is done with Huddle, being able to point and click and send video, and social media obviously has just exploded in the past 9 or 10 years. So if I'm if I know about a young man, let's say up in the Traverse City area, and I want to get in touch with him, it's really going to take me 3 or 4 point and clicks to watch his film and then get in contact with him and have a conversation with him. Where in the past I'm trying to get a hold of his coach so I can get the young man's number or work through his parents, and you may spend a day or two just trying to get a hold of this young man that you really like on tape, where now it's almost instantaneous. So it's, in some respects, it's a lot more challenging, but in some respects, it is a lot easier to really get a hold of kids and start bringing them through the process and start engaging them about everything Siena Heights can offer them and their families.
Well, that's one thing. We had Mick McCabe on last Friday, and we talked about some of the recruiting and at that lower level. And, you need to know about some of these kids. We were just talking about the differences of when they were going to, be recruited and when they were going to commit. And, you're looking at guys, the underclassmen. I mean, by the time they're juniors, they pretty much are on everybody's radar, and they've already kind of chosen where they're going to be at. You have to start this process earlier and earlier, don't you?
Oh yeah, it is so sped up. I mean, when I first started working at Siena Heights, we would start engaging seniors, during their high school season, their senior year, and then start bringing them on campus right after that. Well, now we're engaging these young men going the May going into their senior year before they've even done any 7-on-7 going into their senior year. So it's really, really sped up, and it is, just a big kind of trickle-down effect. You talk to the majority of the young men that we're talking to in May, all believe that they're getting a Division I scholarship, and may not engage you as much as you want to engage them, if you know what I mean. But as the months go by and that Division I scholarship is not there, those are the young men that we want to talk to and that we want to recruit to Siena Heights. Evaluating them academically, evaluating them how their character, how they act in the classroom, how they interact with teachers, and how they interact with their teammates, and then certainly looking at them on tape and seeing if they could meet the expectation we have for the position on our team, and just started engaging them early on. I mean, I think that's key, Jeff, like you said, starting those relationships with those young men early on. And if they don't get that Division I scholarship, we hope that they choose Siena Heights, and we want to develop such a good relationship with them that, it may be tough for them to tell us no, if that Division I offer doesn't come through for them.
And that's a different dynamic for you as opposed to some of these, these D1 schools. Is you're having to have that plan B, for the guys that, hey, I'm a D1 guy, I may fall, but I may not. But if the guy doesn't drop, you have to have somebody in the fold as well behind them. So you're having to, recruit this guy that may come to you, and then on the same side, you really have to recruit the guy that you would know that would be a good fit for you and want to come to you that doesn't have those D1 expectations.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It was brought up by our recruiting coordinator at our last meeting last Tuesday. Well, there was 8 of us back here watching tape, and each coach probably had 80 to 100 student athletes that he was recruiting, trying to bring through the process at Siena, get the young men accepted, and we have to recruit that way. Each coach has to be recruiting 80 or 90 because in the blink of an eye, 90% of those guys are going to be gone. Whether they go Division I, whether they go play in the GLIAC Division II, and so then you got to have, like you said, Jeff, more guys to fall back on. Well, who's left for me to recruit? Kind of the best of what's left, so to speak. But then, if you're able to secure even 5-10% of those Tier 1, those big time recruits, well, it only takes 1 or 2 guys to really make your season blow up. I mean, you see it every year at major college football. 1 or 2 big time guys that really can make the team go.
Matt, we got just a couple minutes left here, so I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit. Okay. Obviously, you were one of the guys that made me a much better coach than I really was when you were a Maple.
Oh, geez.
So we're gonna switch from Siena and we're gonna go Adrian High now. All right. Many of our listeners know you were a 3-sport athlete at Adrian High, a football, basketball, and baseball guy. What was your most memorable Maple athletic experience?
There were a lot. I had such a great time competing as a Maple, lifelong relationships, lifelong memories. But there were 2 that really stuck out. One of which was my freshman year, and then one was my last game that I ever played in at Maple Stadium. But the one of my freshman year, and you were a part of both, John, Coach Robert, you were a part of both memories here. So my first memory, I'm a freshman in high school, and we're traveling up to play Brighton, Michigan on the road at their place. And I think everyone on our team was more excited about seeing Drew Henson play the next night, Friday at home. And it was raining up there. It was really bad weather. Miserable. And I can tell you, half the guys riding up there, we didn't want to play. We were done. We don't want to go play in this rain. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be crap. We just want to see Drew Henson play. And we go out and did not play well in the first half at all. We were sloppy. We were giving up points. We weren't executing on offense. I specifically remember just being a bad game. And we came in for halftime, and Coach Roberts let us know that we weren't playing very well, and we weren't playing hard. And it's one thing if if you're playing hard and they're just better than you. Well, that certainly wasn't the case. We just weren't playing hard. We weren't playing spirited. We weren't playing how we were coached to play. So Coach Roberts got after us a little bit, but I'll never forget the conversation ended, the halftime speech ended very positively, very motivating us. We had worked on some things offensively that week that our varsity wasn't doing. And when you're playing JV football, a lot of times you're going to scout out, what the varsity does, because you're probably going to be running the same offense or defense as the varsity. And we came out in the second half, and this was just an awesome coaching move. We switched our offense up completely, started running some more wing T stuff, and really caught Brighton by surprise and ripped off 3 scores. Ended up winning the game 21-14. And then everyone's, sliding in the mud after the game. All the big guys are out there with their shirts off. It was just a big party out on the field. And it's amazing what a little success can do for you as a student athlete, going from, oh, man, we don't want to get off the bus. We just want to see Drew Henson play tomorrow, to, absolute jubilation. We're not leaving the field. We want to be out in the rain. So that was a really cool memory for me. And then the last one was our final home game ever at Maple Stadium. I think it was I can't recall if it was a regional final game or a quarterfinal game. Regionals, okay. We're playing East Lansing at home, and I don't remember much about the game in terms of plays. One thing I'll never forget is just walking up to Maple Stadium, and I have never seen so many people at Maple Stadium in my entire life. I don't think in all my years of playing athletics at any level, I've ever seen a venue just that packed. It was just amazing. I mean, if you've ever been to Maple Stadium, you see the hills. You couldn't see one blade of grass on any of those hills. It was 4 or 5 deep in the end zone, 4 or 5 deep at the top of the bleachers. It was, it just took your breath away as you entered the stadium. And
big crowd for sure.
Playing in that type of environment, we had to do all hand signals in that game. We did a lot of stuff in our run game at the line of scrimmage, and our 3-step passing game at the line of scrimmage, and it was hard to communicate. You couldn't really hear 6 inches in front of your face. So what I wanted to ask you too, John, is that one of the largest crowds you've seen? You've been around Maple football for a long time.
Oh, it's the biggest crowd I remember in all those years. Yeah, for sure. So, but hey, Matt, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and we're looking forward to an exciting season of Saints football.
Awesome. Let's do it. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Matt Cohn, head football coach, Siena Heights University. Thanks again.
Take care.
Heroes, how much we love and appreciate their sacrifice and the sacrifices of their loved ones. May God's mighty hand protect and guide each of you during these uncertain times.
This message is brought to you by 3-Dimensional Physical Therapy, 3D PT, because people matter.
The Springs BP on West US 223 near Onstead Highway is your locally owned one-stop convenience store. The Springs BP Beer Cave is fully stocked and has a huge selection of craft beer along with all of the standards. If you're looking for something a little different, they have a variety of prepared cocktails and drink mixes plus state minimum prices on their huge selection of liquor. The Springs BP also has propane tank exchanges, fishing licenses, and bait. So if you're headed to the lake for the weekend or just heading home, make sure you stop and shop at the Springs BP.